What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Dylan back again for another video, and this one is going to be a banger. It's a long one, so I hope you guys stay till the very, very end to see what all I'm doing here today. But today is going to be 50 questions about the NFL after the 2016-2017 season. There's been a lot of things that have gone down throughout the course of the season, a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and a lot of questions to be answered. So today I'm going to answer 50 questions about certain teams, certain players, the draft, everything in general about the NFL. So I want you guys to stay tuned, watch this video to the very end. Of course, if you like this video, Gronk, spike the like button. We'll even have a question about Gronk later on in the video. I'm kind of going sporadically. A little bit in the beginning, I talk about the Super Bowl, I talk about a couple teams, talk about a couple players, all the kind of things. So, stay tuned. A lot of topics are going to be discussed. Comment below your thoughts on my answers to these questions, what your answers are to these questions. And, of course, if you haven't already subscribed to the Bottom Line View, our boy Adam just hit us up with a banger last night. A huge banger. The top 10 players not in the NFL. His first solo video was a great job. Go check that one out and then come back on here and watch this and finish this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. This one's another banger on the Bottom Line View. Road to 2,000 subscribers is on pace. Let's get it. Question number 1 is, who had the better catch in the Super Bowl? Julian Edelman in Super Bowl 51 or David Tyree in Super Bowl 42? Now, this is an interesting question, and it's a very short and simple answer here, but I'm going to go with Julian Edelman. I mean, David Tyree had the better quarterback escape with Eli Manning getting out of the pocket and making a big play, but Julian Edelman had to go through 3 different Falcons defenders to catch it not once, but twice. David Tyree's might be more remembered later on for actually making the biggest play of the Super Bowl and ending the Patriots' record streak and all, but I think Julian Edelman overall had the best catch of them all. So I'm going to go with Julian Edelman on this one to start, number 1. Question number 2, is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time? Is this really a question? Obviously, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. First quarterback to win 5 Super Bowls, better than Manning, better than Montana. Every single quarterback you think of, well, Brady is the best. He's done it time and time and time again. And this last performance of coming down 28-3, coming back and winning the game in overtime, the first ever Super Bowl overtime, there's no question in my mind, and should be in anybody's mind, that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. And if you think differently, I'm sorry, fam, you just aren't a fan of football. The third question here is, when will Tom Brady retire? The answer? As long as he keeps playing the way he is, he could play till he's freaking 45 at this point. He's still the best quarterback in the league, no doubt about it, and he still can play at an all-time great level. Okay, both Peyton Manning and Tom Brady played in the Super Bowl at age 38. Tom Brady was 43 of 62. Peyton Manning, 17 to 27. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady could still go at a really high level, so he could be here for 5 or 6 more years before he retires. So for everybody else in the NFL, I'd be a little bit worried about Tom Brady. Question number 4 here is there any competition for the Patriots on the AFC side in 2017? And the answer is, well, to me, there really is only one team that can really face the New England Patriots on the AFC side. That's the Oakland Raiders. I'm being straight up 100% honest. Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders had a chance to go up against Tom Brady and maybe possibly beat him earlier on in the season in the playoffs, but Derek Carr got hurt. So if there's one team that could face these New England Patriots come sometime next year, I would say it's the Oakland Raiders. Question number 5 is kind of a run-on of question number 4. Will the Raiders make an impact in 2017? I think this is a really good team here in the Oakland Raiders. You got Derek Carr, who many people were saying was the MVP before he got hurt in Week 16. You got a lot of people that are putting their expectations on the Oakland Raiders, and we talked about this coming into the 2016-2017 season, that this is going to be a team that's going to be on the rise, and they made the playoffs for the first time since 2002. Now they want to make their case for them to get back in the race and do something pretty good and productive here. So if there's one team, again, that's going to face the New England Patriots this season to make an impact, I think it's going to be the Oakland Raiders. So stay tuned for the Oakland Raiders to make an impact in 2017. Question number 6 is, are the Houston Texans on the come-up? Well, let me be honest here. The Houston Texans are a very underrated team. They just need one thing, and it's a pretty important thing: a quarterback. Their quarterback is absolute garbage, but their defense was really, really underrated coming into this playoffs here in 2016. And then on top of that, They got really good wide receivers, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins. So if they can get a quarterback, this team could be on the come up. We'll see how that happens. Maybe question 8 will answer it. Question number 7. Are the Titans on the come up? These two teams are in the same division, so it's an interesting question. The Titans are really, really good. I mean, they were 8-8 this season, which is a huge improvement considering what they've been doing the last couple of seasons. But Marcus Mariota has made some improvements. That defense has gotten a lot better. And overall, this team is a solid team. They're going to be fighting, I think, between the Texans and the Titans for a couple of years to see who has the dominance in that division. But this is certainly a team that might possibly make the playoffs this upcoming season. And I think they're one team that could sneakily make an impact here in 2017. So I think they are on the come up. Question number 8. Where will Tony Romo end up? Most likely, Tony Romo will not stay in Dallas. There's really only 2 locations for me that I could see him possibly being in. And that's Houston, like I said in question number 6, and the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos want to consistently win under the pressure of John Elway. So they need a quarterback to really make them a good team because their defense is absolutely amazing. And they got good receivers. They just need a quarterback. So Tony Romo could certainly be there. And the Houston Texans, like I said, are one good quarterback away from making an impact in 2017 in the 2018 season. So I think those are the 2 locations, so the 2 best locations for him. He just needs to stay healthy and get ready for the season because he might have some possible teams ready to take him during the offseason. So those are the 2 for me, Denver and Houston. Question number 9. Will the Broncos or the Panthers make the playoffs in 2017? Both of these teams were in the 2016 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50, and did not make the playoffs the following season. The Panthers were 6-10, and the Broncos went 8-8. The Broncos, if they can get their quarterback, if they can get Tony Romo, I think they can make a huge impact. Their defense is obviously a great defense that can really do something well. And for the Panthers, I don't really see them doing much. They kind of faltered and showed their weaknesses after the offseason. So to me, if they get Tony Romo, Denver has a chance. The Panthers, however, do not have a chance to make the playoffs in the 2017 season, my opinion. Question 10 is an interesting one, especially what happened after the Super Bowl. Are the Falcons on the decline? Are they still going to suffer from their hangover? The answer? No. I don't think they'll be making the Super Bowl again, but I do think they'll be making the playoffs, which I guess technically means they'll be still suffering and could be on the decline. But no way this team doesn't make the playoffs. There's a bunch of key talent, of course, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. They got the running back core. They got a solid defense that is trying to beef up here in the offseason. I just don't see them making the Super Bowl again. So technically, they are on the decline in terms of their status from the Super Bowl to probably the divisional or NFC Championship game. But this team's still going to make the playoffs. I have confidence in them, and maybe they'll suffer a little bit, have some growing pains the first couple games, but I think they'll still be a team to contend here in 2017. Question 11. Are the Seahawks on the decline? I put this right after the Falcons because it's an interesting matchup here. I think they are on the decline. We saw it here in the playoffs when they were facing the Falcons that there was a lot of problems. Their offensive line is just atrocious. The defense is going away. They're either leaving the group or they're getting injured. And the defense that we saw in 2013, 2014, the Legion of Boom, doesn't really quite have that name power anymore. They're not really the best of the best. Russell Wilson can't carry the team by himself. There's some good weapons, but I will say yes, the Seahawks are on the decline and will not make the playoffs in 2017. Question number 12. Interesting enough because it's Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers the second best quarterback in the league? The answer? Regular season, absolutely. The man can make plays. He knows how to relax people. But I don't really know if I would come pick him in a clutch situation. I mean, he's won one Super Bowl, a couple NFC title games, but they haven't gotten a lot of chances to go to the Super Bowl and for him to make this name for himself. So I guess yes, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that are about to take that name from him, honestly. In the next 2 or 3 years, that number 2 rating for Aaron Rodgers could be taken away from him. So technically, as of this video, yes, but in the future, no. Question 13. Is Ben Roethlisberger on the decline? The answer, yes. The man just keeps getting injured over and over and over again. And this season, this past season, he wasn't really effective. He had a lot of good key playmakers to help him out. Of course, the killer bees side of Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. There were some players that were trying to make a name for himself. But honestly, Ben Roethlisberger did not really stand out in 2016. So is he on the decline? I think his injuries and all the time he's had here in the NFL, I think are starting to get to him. And next season's going to be crucial for that answer. But I think it's going to be part of what happened with Peyton Manning. His quality's just going to decline really quickly. So I think the answer to this question is yes. Question number 14. Are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the playoffs in 2017? The answer, yes. They were really trying to make the playoffs in 2016, and a lot of teams towards the end of the season were making big strides. Of course, the Packers and the Lions pretty much killed all the hope that Tampa Bay had. But I think Jameis Winston understood what he had to do here in his second season. He understood that he needs to be a big playmaker, and he's got a receiver named Mike Evans, by the way, that's quite talented. And there's a lot of people that are thinking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to move on, and I think they will do something in 2017. Will they make the NFC title game? No. But I think they will at least make the wild card and try to surprise people here in the playoffs. So I think there's potential here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going to go with yes on question 14. Question 15. Are the Cowboys the real deal? The answer, yes, they are. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott had fantastic rookie seasons. They led some of the best plays and drives of the entire season, and they had a really, really good season. And even though they weren't able to finish, I think going into the second season, they're going to have a lot of momentum, a lot of people looking on them to make the big plays in the big time situations, and I think they will. I think this is a team that has a very good chance to get in the NFC title game and further on in 2017. Question 16. Who will win the MVP for 2017? The answer, I'm going to stick with Tom Brady. He's still the best quarterback in the league, and I think he just does stuff really, really well. Are there other people that could win? Absolutely. There's guys like Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown. There's a lot of people that could win the MVP, but for my hunch, if I had to pick it right now, very, very, very early, I'm going to stick with Tom Brady. Question 17. Who's the best receiver in the league? The answer, it's kind of 1A, 1B between Julio Jones and Antonio Brown. Both receivers are absolutely fantastic. They know how to run the best routes. They know how to make the best plays and the best catches. And for me, these are the only two that can really compare and stand up. You got Odell Beckham, of course, but I think these are the two overall best receivers. If I had to pick one, if there was a gun in my head, I'd say I have to pick one. I'm going to go with Julio Jones, but I still think both of these guys are 1A, 1B when it comes to this situation and this question. So I have to put both of them on the list for this answer. So I'm going to go with Julio Jones and Antonio Brown for the best receivers in the league. Question 18. Who's the best running back in the league? Really, you got three answers, and I didn't include the third guy because a lot of people put him on the wayside. But you got Le'Veon Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, and David Johnson. Those are your three guys, in my opinion, that could be the answer to this question. Le'Veon Bell had a great season, even though he was injured throughout the first couple of games, and Ezekiel Elliott made a monster impact in his rookie season. David Johnson did a fantastic job, broke some records, but his team didn't get a lot of credit because their team was pretty much ass. So, in my opinion, those are the three. If I got to take my run with the money, bullet to the head answer, I'm going to go with Le'Veon Bell, but I still think all three of these guys are absolutely fantastic. Question 19. Can the New England Patriots trust Rob Gronkowski to be back at 100% in the next season? The answer, no. Rob Gronkowski is a great player. He's the best tight end in the league, no doubt about it. The problem is he just gets injured a lot. He had the back injury, he's got the torn ACL before. I don't really know. If he gets one more injury, I think his career is over. And it's not really because of his own fault. It's because he has a lot of money already. We already see how much he parties and whatnot. He wants to stay part of this team. But really, this is an interesting question. It just comes down to what Rob Gronkowski wants to do in his life. I don't know if they can really trust him to be 100%. And coming into the season, it's going to be very interesting. But I don't know. The answer to me is no. Question 20. Where is Tyrod Taylor heading? The answer, well, it's not Buffalo. I understand that there's some contract negotiations where they want to place him in, but after the firing of Rex Ryan, all hope, in my opinion, was lost for Tyrod Taylor to be the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Their organization is absolute garbage. So the answer to this question, in my opinion, is the loser of the Tony Romo sweepstakes of Houston and Denver. Whoever doesn't get Tony Romo will pick up Tyrod Taylor. That's my answer. Question number 21. Is Ryan Tannehill legit? I don't really know. That's my answer. I really don't know where Ryan Tannehill is. He got this team to 10-6, which is great, but I don't really know how much of that falls on the strength of schedule or on him or the coaching. I don't really know. Next season's going to be very interesting, especially with the division with the New England Patriots. So my answer is maybe, but not quite yet. Question number 22. Are the Cleveland Browns the worst team in the NFL? The answer, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of teams that are really, really bad. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the San Francisco 49ers, the Buffalo Bills. At least with the Bills, they can still have a chance to win. They just have a really bad organization in terms of the front office and whatnot. The 49ers, they're going to get Kyle Shanahan, so that will probably help them out in a lot. And Jacksonville is probably their only other competition. But I still think Cleveland just has a lot of bad luck on their side, and they don't know where talent goes to and how to use them. So the answer to me is still yes. The 1-15 Cleveland Browns are the worst team in the NFL. Question number 23. Are the Jacksonville Jaguars ready to move on from Blake Bortles? The answer, they're not. The fans, we are. He's absolute trash. He's garbage. He throws footballs on the ground thinking his receivers can catch him. He's terrible, guys. I think him and Brock Osweiler are the worst quarterbacks in the league. I'll be honest. Jacksonville is not ready to move on from him. I think they'll give him one more season, like the Blaine Gabbert, 3 years, you're out kind of thing. And if he doesn't provide this season with any wins, he will be cut. So he's got one more year. Make it happen. Question number 24. What are the 49ers doing? They got Kyle Shanahan, but otherwise, I don't even know. I really don't know. They are going to continue to lose. Next question. Halfway through these questions here at number 25, are the Jets even trying / will they try to compete in 2017? The answer is no. This team's absolute garbage. They got no quarterback. They've got no play. They've got no talent. Brandon Marshall's there, I guess, but there's not really much hope for the New York Jets in 2017. Question 26. Is Joe Flacco elite? And my answer to that is, are you freaking kidding me? Moving on. Question 27. Can Andy Dalton lead the Cincinnati Bengals to success? The answer, no. This team can make the first round of the playoffs pretty well, but they cannot ever succeed past that. And Andy Dalton is a main contributor to it. Of course, last season, they were very disappointing. We at least thought they were going to make the playoffs, and here they are 6-10. Not very good. They got A.J. Green, but I don't really trust the leadership skills of Andy Dalton to get me past the playoffs or get me past the first round. So, honestly, I don't think he can lead them to success. I think they've tried way too long with this experiment, and they got maybe one more season, but cut it off after that. Question 28. Are the Chargers the most mediocre team in football? The answer, yes. I feel really, 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 really bad for Phillip Rivers. But the rest of his team either gets injured all the time, or the fact that they just won't provide any catches or do anything. Last season was absolutely awful. And even though they're moving to LA, they just can't get a win. They just can't. So the answer is yes, they're the most mediocre team in the NFL. Question 29. Will the Los Angeles Rams succeed with Sean McVay as head coach? The answer, no. It's not that I don't want to place a barrier on Sean McVay just because he's 30 years old and the youngest head coach in NFL history. The problem is the fact they've got Jared Goff as a quarterback. The problem is their team is dysfunctional. The problem is they don't have a lot of talent around them. And, as good as a coach could be, the guy has never been a head coach. And on top of that, this team is very, very bad. They were just awful last season. So the answer is no, but it's not entirely his fault. Question number 30. Will the Broncos succeed with Vance Joseph as their head coach? The answer, I think yes. I think he's a good defensive coordinator, first off, for the Miami Dolphins. And second, on top of that, you have this team that is pretty much ready to go if they had a quarterback. Again, Trevor Siemian's not the worst player in the world, but They need talent like right now to win. So if Vance Joseph can make either this kid really good or work with the quarterback that they get in the offseason, Tyrod Taylor, Tony Romo, etc., or even in train up Paxton Lynch or draft somebody, I think Vance Joseph could be somebody to look forward to as a head coach in 2017. Maybe I'm a little over exaggerating it, but I think he could do well. Question number 31. Can Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions win the NFC North in 2017? The answer, no. Well, maybe. Not exactly with Aaron Rodgers in the same division. That's very, very difficult. But the thing is that Aaron Rodgers-led team last season, or up to Super Bowl 51, wasn't all that great because of their defense. Their offense is still quite talented. So if the Detroit Lions can make some bigger plays, fix up some things, possibly. But I'm not 100% going to put my money on Detroit here. So if I had to put the gun to the bullet again, I'm going to say no. Question 32. Weird one to go back to, I guess, but it's interesting. Was Super Bowl 51 the greatest Super Bowl of all time? The answer, no. I still think it's top 3. But if we're going to go from compelling games, either Super Bowl 49 or 43, in my opinion, are the best of them all, between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Arizona Cardinals, or the Patriots and the Seahawks. Those are the two I would go ahead of. But it was a great comeback. The Patriots deserve the credit that they got, and they made an absolutely fantastic drive to win their next championship. So that's why it deserves number 3, but not number 1. Question number 33. Matt Barkley, Jay Cutler, or somebody else in Chicago? The answer? Somebody else. Jay Cutler is absolutely garbage. Garbage. I don't understand how Chicago still stays with him. Matt Barkley, inconsistent. There were good times. There were really bad times. I don't really know what you do. Maybe you groom him for another season or two, possibly. But my answer to the solution is to go draft a quarterback. Because even though there's not a lot of quarterback talent in this draft, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, it's better than these two. I'm sorry. Question 34, and I know this is one that Mitch wanted me to talk about. Is Vic Beasley legit? The answer? No. I'm sorry, he had a good season. I'm not going to discredit him that. But he did have like 7 of those sacks against 2 of the worst teams in the league in terms of offensive line help. I'm just going to sit here and say that Vic Beasley will never have more than 10 sacks in his career again. Will he be a decent player? Possibly. But when we're talking about legit as one of the best in the league, no. You got Khalil Mack, Von Miller, Landon Collins. There's so many defensive players I would probably pick over Vic Beasley in the next 5 years. Just being honest. Question 35. Is Jimmy Garoppolo the future of the New England Patriots, or will he be traded? The answer? He might be going to somewhere else, because Tom Brady is absolutely the best quarterback in the league right now. I've said that about 4 or 5 times in this video. But Jimmy G has a lot of talent. He's a good quarterback. We saw him play the couple of games where Brady was gone, and he might possibly be traded. So that's one thing to look forward to. But right now I'm going to say Jimmy G is the future somewhere else. Question 36. Who's the coordinator to look out for the next head coach position? The answer? There's really only 2 guys that really excite me overall to get a head coaching job. That's Josh McDaniels of the New England Patriots and Wade Phillips of the Denver Broncos. Are either of those going to really happen? No. Josh McDaniels could leave. I mean, there's been talks of him going elsewhere multiple times, but most of these coaching jobs have either been fulfilled, and also the fact that why would you leave with so much success in New England? As for Wade Phillips, there's good stuff there, but I don't really know. I mean, Gary Kubiak retired, John Fox left. Maybe he's somebody that could take the role somewhere else and leave. But those are the two coaches I could only assume would be the next head coaches anywhere else. Question number 37. Who's the most exciting draft prospect? Well, in my opinion, you're looking at him right now. Myles Garrett, defensive end of the A&M Aggies. He's a kid that has a lot of potential. He is a bull rusher. He can go out there and dominate offensive lines. And let's be honest, there's not really a quarterback I would go out there and say that's my number 1 pick. So if there's a guy that people need for the defensive end, this is the guy to look forward to. I think he's going to make the most impact. Will he win Rookie of the Year? Probably not, because there's going to be people that are going to make bigger impacts in terms of offense. But if I'm looking to make a future impact player on the defensive side, Myles Garrett's your guy. Question number 38. Can Dak and Zeke continue their all-time high together? The answer? Yes. Wow, as my phone drops. I think there's a lot of good things about both of these guys that made a huge impact in their rookie seasons, and they're only going to get better, folks. I think this is a team that you need to look out forward to, and there's a lot of great things about them that just make them really good, and they're going to improve every single season. So yes, they're going to continue their high. Question number 39. Can Andrew Luck lead the Colts to success? The answer, if the Colts would let him, he could. But it's really a one-man team. They have not done a very good job of building a team around Andrew Luck. It's just plain and simple. The guy is good. We've seen a couple of good seasons, but his team over the last couple of seasons has been trash. And honestly, they were one of the biggest disappointments of the 2016 season. So, can he lead? Possibly. But the Colts organization is going to have to get him some help. Question number 40. We're getting down to the last 10 questions here. Will Marcus Mariota have a breakout season? The answer? Yes. I think he's going to be one of the most improved players. He did have a pretty good season up until his breaking his leg in week 16 or 17, one of the two. 16 it was. The thing is that Marcus Mariota is very talented. He's got good receivers. He's got a really good running back in DeMarco Murray. I think he's quite talented, and if he can get the plays done, this team could be going to the playoffs. So I think he will have a breakout season and be possibly one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Question 41. Who will win Rookie of the Year? Now, I have Myles Garrett here because I said he was the most exciting draft prospect. However, I don't know if he's going to win Rookie of the Year. There's a couple guys like Leonard Fournette, Mike Williams, Deshaun Watson. Probably not Deshaun Watson, but I'm going to say it's between either Mike Williams, Leonard Fournette, or Christian McCaffrey if he's drafted to the right team. So those are my 3 guys. Question number 42, also asked by Mitch. Other than Brady and Belichick, who has the best case for the Hall of Fame if they were retiring today? Well, I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers, who could possibly be there. He has all the stats and all the things that you could be asking for. Ben Roethlisberger certainly deserves to be up there. Julius Peppers, he has a great career for himself. Possibly Eli Manning. I mean, he's won 2 Super Bowls, but he's been very, very inconsistent in his run. I think that's really it. That's really all I can think of as of right now that's playing the game currently. I think those are your best options. Ben Roethlisberger has the best case, in my opinion. Him and Julius Peppers have the best case because they've done something. So I'm going to go with those 2 for sure, and a couple other guys are possibly maybes. Question 43. Can the Chiefs have playoff success? The answer, no. I'm sorry, I do appreciate what they do at times. Their defense is absolutely fantastic, but I think their offense is too plain. I honestly think that a lot of teams are catching on to what they're doing, and Alex Smith is not a great quarterback. He can be accurate at times, that's a good thing, but you need a really good quarterback to lead you to success. And even though they got Travis Kelce, even though they got a couple of good playmakers, Tyreek Hill and such, I don't think that this team can make it very far. So I don't think they'll have playoff success very soon. Question 44. Which teams want to win in the NFL? Now, there's been some kind of rule and speculation that there's only 6 or 7 teams that really want to win championships. Here's your answer. The New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, and a couple other teams that possibly could get in there somewhere like the Falcons or the Seahawks, of course. Those are really only the teams that you could say that want to win. There are other teams that are possible and could make the playoffs, but those are really your 6 or 7 teams that always, every single year, are trying to get in and make an impact here. Question 45. Which team or teams that did not make the playoffs last year will make the playoffs this year? And my answer is the 2 teams you see in this picture, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Tennessee Titans. Both teams had a very uplifting season. You know, they didn't make the playoffs last year, but they had a lot of success. They did a lot of good things in order to make them good teams. And for the Titans, you got Mariota, you got Murray, you got a lot of good stuff on the defense. I think that's a talented team that could make an impact. And for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got an upcoming Jameis Winston. By the way, that's weird. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. weird combo. But I think they're both going to make their impacts this year, and I think these are the two teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that have a good chance to make it in this year's wildcards. Question 46. Which teams are on the decline? The answer? Well, the Seattle Seahawks, I think, are on an obvious decline. The Arizona Cardinals, even though they did not make the playoffs or have any good success, I think are on the decline because a lot of people were predicting them to make the playoffs and even the Super Bowl. That's what I said. Jesus. But I think they're on the decline. I think the Chiefs are on the decline. I think the Bills are especially on the decline. There are a couple teams that are really kind of flustered. I think another two teams you could say are the Giants and the Packers. I think both teams have a lot of negatives towards them and aren't going to make a lot of successful moves. So the biggest one for me, however, is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. They just have a lot of bad things not going for them. So that's my biggest declining team. Question 47. Are Drew Brees and the Saints over? The answer, they're going to be here for a couple more years, but again, like I said with the Indianapolis Colts, they don't give a lot of good things to Drew Brees. More specifically, the defense. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. Their offense doesn't score a lot of points, but you're playing against the Falcons every year and twice a year, and now you're going to place more competition. The good thing is that they got really good home field advantage, but Drew Brees can still play at a great level. It just at times can be inconsistent. The answer to this question is I don't think they're necessarily over, but their playoff run might have come to an end. I think they're going to hit that dry spell very soon. Actually, they're in their dry spell. They might continue that in the season. Question 48. Can Newton bounce back and make an impact this season? The answer, no. I don't really like the guy. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I'm not going to go Colin Cowherd and say there's 15 or 16 quarterbacks we would pick over Cam Newton. We've had this discussion before on the Bottom Line View in terms of who we would pick before him, but I just don't think he's that great. I don't think he's the best in the world, and their team is not really all that successful for him to go, man, I'm going to lead this team to success once again. 15-1, not going to say it was a fluke, but they had a really good defensive system. They had a lot of good things going for them, and I just don't think that's going to happen again. Question number 49. Will the NFL finally stop airing Thursday night football games and let us fans be happy? The answer is no, and I really wish this would be a yes, because A, you can't plan out a Thursday night game as well as you would plan a Sunday game, and second, or B, there's too many injuries. Like, you're preparing for 4 days instead of 7, you're going to get a lot of injuries, and it's just not a healthy thing at all. Plus, the quality of Thursday night games, besides Thanksgiving, besides Thanksgiving, is absolute trash. It was absolutely god-awful this year. And Roger Goodell, however, thinks it's the best thing ever. God, can't stand him. But he thinks it's the best thing ever. It's going to continue. I wish it wouldn't, though. And question 50. Who will be the two teams in the Super Bowl? I'm not going to say who will win. The two teams I think will be in the Super Bowl are the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys. I think the New England Patriots still are the best team in football. They just have so many great things around them with their really good, underrated defense, to Tom freaking Brady, to guys like Amendola, Edelman, Hogan. You got an upcomer named James White, who we saw 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. We got a lot of people, they got a lot of people that are really, really talented and could easily dominate the AFC. For the NFC, I think the Dallas Cowboys are the most talented team. They just got to get that one win, the divisional round, and push on and make a run, and I think they can certainly do it this time around and lead to some success. So I think the two teams in the Super Bowl for Super Bowl 52, will be the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys. If you guys enjoyed these 50 questions about the NFL after the 2016 season, you guys should spike the like button. Of course, subscribe to the Bottom Line View if you haven't already. Comment below. What do you guys think about the questions? Do you think they were good questions? Do you think some I missed? What do you think about my responses? What are your responses to some of these questions? Of course, stay tuned for more content. I'm hopefully doing a recap tonight. Maybe we'll see. We'll find out. But a lot of things are coming out here soon on the Bottom Line View, so stay tuned for all the great content. It's Dylan from the Bottom Line View. Check out Adam's video on the 10 best players not in the Hall of Fame. Check out all Mitch's content, my content, Kevil's content, everybody's content on the Bottom Line View. Check it out. Thank you guys. Peace.